Okay, so we're back, and now I'm going to try to do some factoring where the x squared term is not alone. So how are we going to do that? Well, you just have to think about how you would get 2x squared instead of x squared. So remember that every time you do, whoops, wow, every time you do a trinomial, remember this is a trinomial because it has three terms. Every time you do that, you have to get a FOIL looking problem if you don't have a GCF. And again, if I look through here, I don't have a GCF, so I won't be taking anything else out. And I have to figure out how to get the first term. Well, in the other ones, all I had to do was put x squared and x squared, or excuse me, x and x and get x squared. But because I have a 2x squared now, one of these guys has to be a 2x. So that when I multiply 2x times x, I will get this first term. And then I jump over here and I think of negative 3. And I think about what are some of the things that give me negative 3. Well, I have negative 3 and 1, or 3 and negative 1. Those are the only two choices I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the numbers in where I think they should go. So I'm going to guess, let's see, I'm going to guess putting the negative 3 here and the positive 1 there. Now, how are we going to check this? Well, you're going to go through, let me pick a different color here. You're going to go through and you're going to do what's called the inners and outers. You're going to double check to see if this, if you multiply it together, which in this case is 2x, and this here, when I multiply that, I get negative 3x. If that adds together to give me negative 5, I'm good. But if you notice, this does not give me negative 5, it gives me negative 1x. So that's not the right combination. So let me erase this real quick. So that wasn't a good one. So that first one didn't work out well. So we're now going to try a different combination. So that's out of here. That's out of here. So all of this is gone. And we're going to try something different. So let's try the other combination I have. So I'm going to put, now the negative 3 and the 1 didn't work, so let me put the 1 over here and the negative 3 over there. So even though I'm still playing with this, because I have different multipliers here and here, I have some opportunity to just swap the same numbers. So if you notice, in the last problem, negative 3 was over here and 1 was over there and it didn't work. But this will give me negative 6, and this will give me positive 1, x's of course. If you add that together, you do get negative 5. So this is my answer. So I'm going to put down here 2x plus 1 and x minus 3. Okay? Again, if you get stuck on this in terms of graphing, what you can do is you can go to your y equals in your calculator, type in 2x squared minus 5x, whoops, minus 3, put it in the calculator, see where it hits the x-axis, which in this case you're going to get, let's see if I can guess this a little bit, it's going to be, here's 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. It'd be somewhere in here. You would have found, might as well use a different color. You'll get one here. What the heck? Why does it keep doing that? Okay, you get one here. And then when you're doing the other one, which in this case was 3, let me go back, change color again. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let me put an extra couple extras in there. That one is going to be 3, which is right here. Okay, so, and again, you would see this graph. I'm just trying to, I don't know why I keep getting these colors, but, alright, so what'll happen is it'll look something like, I missed again, but I don't know exactly, I'm just sketching, but the idea is the graph's going to pass through, and since you can read this tick mark, remember if x equals 3 here, and as I said before in my other video, then x minus 3 is a factor. And that really does help, because if you know that x minus 3 is a factor, and you already know that this has to be 2x and x for 2x squared, there's only one number this could possibly be. Because remember, I still have to get negative 3 over here. And so all I have to think about is negative 3 times what gives me negative 3? Well, it have to be a positive 1. So you can, you can experiment that way. Because, again, you're not going to be able to read this one so well because of the tick mark, it being between tick marks. Where here, it's right on the money. So I could use that one and kind of use that to my advantage. I wrote a factor, I wrote it right here, and then I had to figure out, okay, These two give me 2x squared, and then all I have to do is make sure that these two give me the negative 3. The inners and outers will, I mean, the middle terms will work out as long as I know one of the numbers already. So it's not really that hard to find two numbers if I give you one, or you find one with the calculator right here. All right. Now, if you get two fractions, then it gets a little ugly, and then I would suggest using the calculator and the intersect key, which I can't show you because I have no way of putting the calculator up on the screen. So let's do another problem. Okay, this one. Now, first of all, I'm going to look to see, is this prime? And it is, because 5 only divides itself in 1. So let's do a different color just for fun. All right, so again, we look to see, does 5 and 9 and 2 have anything in common? No. So I'm going to do my two sets of parentheses. I know 5x squared can only be split up one way. Okay, now remember, I have a big multiplier of 5 times whatever I throw over here. So just keep that in mind. All right. Okay, so I need factors of negative 2. There's only negative 2 and 1, or 2 and negative 1. Those are the only two choices. But remember, I have a flexibility of flip-flopping these. All right, so I'm going to put a negative 2 in here and a positive 1 in there. And then I'm going to check my inners and outers. This gives me 6. This gives me negative 2. That's not 9. So that's not it. And I'm going to leave that up here just so you can see it all together. So let me try to do that again. So I know the 5x is in the right spot. I know the x is in the right spot. Let's flip-flop them. So we'll put 1 over here and negative 2 over there. Now this gives me negative 10, of course x, and this gives me positive 1. Add those together, and that does give me negative 9. Ding, 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 ding. So that's good. We like that. All right, so there's my answer right here. And again, if you had graphed it, this guy would have shown you 2 on the graph, and then this one would have been some sort of fractional. Would have been what, negative 1/5, which you wouldn't be able to read off the tick marks, but you'd be able to read this one. You would have seen x equals 2 with the tick marks. So you can do it that you can do some graphing and cheat a little bit on the factoring. I'm okay. I don't even know. It's however way you want to do it. All right. So let's see. I think I have a couple more. Let's see this one. All right. I did this one because this first number here is not prime, so it's a possibility that I could have two different choices here. I could have this be 6x and x, or I could have it as 2x and 3x, because either one of those is going to give me 6x squared. So I have a possibility that it could be different combinations. So this could take a little bit longer, depending. I'm going to try the 2x and 3x just for fun. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and again I'm looking for factors of negative 6. So I want things to multiply to give me, wow, negative 6. So I have negative 2 and 3, and 2 and negative 3. Okay, so I have to put those in. Now, what's interesting about this is you can't cause a GCF. So if I wanted to turn around and put a negative 2 in here and a positive 3 in here, if you notice, I caused a GCF. You're not allowed to do that. So you can't cause GCF. So sometimes knowing that will help you with trying to get these things filled in faster. All right, so let's put the 3 over here and then negative 2 over there. So let's see, this gives me 9, and this gives me negative 4, and sure enough, that gives me 5. And again, these have x's on them, but I'm really worried about the number more than anything else. And that 5 matches the one that's up here. Okay, so those are my answers. So 2x plus 3 and 3x minus 2. Now, unfortunately, with this breakup, you're not going to have seen either one of these on the graph, because this gives me, if I were solving this, and I looked at the graphing calculator, negative 3 halves would have been seen, so that's like negative 1.5. You wouldn't have been able to read that tick mark. And this one would have given you 2/3, which is 0.66, you know what I mean. And that you're not going to be able to read either. That won't be on a tick mark. So this one is pretty much going to be tough doing factoring, like without any help from the calculator. But you can see I just keep practicing it and cutting, and trial and error until I get the right combination. It's sort of like a puzzle. It's like what do you call it? Sudoku. You're just trying to put numbers in certain spots to get an answer. Let's see if I got any more. Did I have one more? Nope, that's it. Okay, so I'm done for now, and I'll come back and do some special case ones, some perfect square trinomials, some difference of squares. That's next up on the list.